Hey everybody, it's Ron from Pick Dawgz, and this is Ron's Bank Shop Breakdown. We're going to go over 5 college basketball games for Tuesday, November 22nd, 2022. Now, if you like what you see, make sure to give this video a big thumbs up and subscribe to our channel. Helps us out a ton. And don't forget to put your college basketball picks in the comments section below. If you're looking for my best bets, you can always find those in the premium picks tab at pickdawgz.com. Alrighty, let's get into it. Here are 5 games in college basketball for Tuesday. First up, we see Liberty taking on Northwestern in an 8:30 Eastern start time on CBS Sports Network in the Cancun Challenge in Mexico. So a neutral site game for this one. Should be a great one. And, I do think Liberty is a live dog in this game. Northwestern's off to a great start to the season. They're 4-0. They beat Chicago State, Northern Illinois, Georgetown, and IPFW in their first 4 games. But 3 of those 4 at home, and their road win over Georgetown. We know Georgetown's struggling to start the season, so not the most impressive win. I know it's over a Big East team, so it's always going to be a notable victory, but Liberty is a very tough mid-major team, and they have one of the better players in, I would say, Division I college hoops, not just the A-Sun. He's no doubt about the best player in the A-Sun, but Darius McGee returns to the Liberty Flames rosters coming off a game against Southern Miss where he put up 29 points. Now, this is a guy that can shoot from basically anywhere on the court, a great playmaker. He's actually pretty solid defensively as well, and he's actually a solid rebounder, even though he's only 5'9". You see last game, 6 rebounds, 5 of those on the defensive glass, so he is a very, very talented player. Liberty ranked 68th in the nation in adjusted offensive efficiency. This is a good shooting team from the perimeter, from the free throw line as well. Now, the defense is a little bit so-so. It's ranked 152nd in adjusted defensive efficiency. But the thing for me is I do think that the shooting numbers against for Liberty right now ranked 310th in defensive effective field goal percentage and 339th in three-point defense. I think those numbers are going to regress towards the mean and give Liberty a little bit more success on the defensive end. They're already looking pretty good offensively, but I think Liberty is a lot better than what we've seen already this season on defense. So I think with that, all that being said, I think there's some value with the Liberty Flames in this game, especially when you look at the hot starting season for Northwestern. Give me Liberty and the points in this one. Should be a great game at a neutral site. Next up, we see the Prairie View A&M Panthers taking on UTSA. It's going to be a home game for UTSA, 8 o'clock Eastern start time. I like PVAMU in this game. I think Prairie View is the better team right now. When you look at their numbers defensively, the big thing that Prairie View likes to do, they're a pretty volatile team. They're going to take a lot of fouls. That's been the case for the last few seasons, but they're also going to force a lot of turnovers. And UTSA, big problems with turnovers right now, ranked 356th. Only a handful of teams are worse than UTSA in turnover percentage on offense. UTSA coughing the ball up on 28% of their offensive possessions, and they're ranked 329th in the nation in adjusted offensive efficiency. So I just don't think we're going to see consistent scoring. I think we're going to see a lot of turnovers from the Roadrunners in this game, and that's exactly what Prairie View A&M wants, to play a style like that where, yeah, they're going to give up some easy baskets in the fast break, and if UTSA is able to break the press, but most times you're going to see UTSA bad shot selection, bad pass decisions, and some shot clock violations as well. And I think Prairie View A&M is going to be able to take advantage of that. A decent rebounding team for Prairie View A&M, especially on the defensive glass. I think that's a big thing for me. If you have a team that struggles to rebound and is also very volatile on the defensive end, I really wouldn't want to take them. But I like the fact that Prairie View A&M is a very good perimeter shooting team, ranked 9th right now in the country in three-point shooting. They force those turnovers. They don't really turn the ball over themselves. And like I said, they can box out on the defensive end. So I think PVAMU is the better team in this one. So give me the Panthers on the money line in this one. Next up, we see Coppin State taking on Towson. It's going to be a home game for the Tigers as it's a 7 o'clock Eastern start time. We've seen these two teams play each other the last few years as they are regional rivals in Maryland. And last year's game, it was an 89-75 final score in Towson's favor. And they had an unbelievable night from the perimeter. They were shooting the ball from 3 left and right, 16 of 36. That's 44.4%. Jason Gibson in that game last year was 8 of 13 himself. Of course, he returns along with a few other really good perimeter shooters on this Towson team this season, and I do think this is going to be a very high-scoring game. I like the over in this one. When you look at Coppin State, very volatile team. They love to run the floor on offense. They're ranked 25th in the nation in average possession length. So they're not the most efficient team, but they are a pretty good shooting team, and because they work so fast on offense, usually points can be scored from both teams, both Coppin State and their opponents, and the defense is ranked 275th right now in adjusted defensive efficiency. Not the best perimeter defense, and the big thing that has me concerned with Coppin State's defense in this game is their defensive rebounding. 311th in the country in defensive rebounding percentage, taking on a Towson team ranked inside the top 70 in offensive rebounding percentage. So Towson should be able to make plenty of shots from the perimeter, and when they don't fall, they should be able to get those second chance looks for easy buckets down low. I think Towson scores that well, but I do think because of that fast-paced Coppin State offense, Coppin State can pitch in a few points themselves. Give me the over in this Coppin State-Towson game. Next up, we see Bradley taking on Auburn. The Tigers are big favorites in this one. Cancun Challenge game, 6 o'clock Eastern start time, CBS Sports Network. I do like Bradley this season. I think they're going to be pretty competitive in Missouri Valley play, but this is just not a great matchup on paper. This is a Bradley team that I would say is stronger in their backcourt and their guards rather than the front court, and that's a bad sign when you're playing a team like Auburn that's so athletic and so good at rebounding. I mean, it's third in the nation right now in offensive rebounding percentage, and we've seen them have some slow starts offensively. Their game against George Mason only putting up 70 points. Against South Florida, only 67 points, and in that game against the Bulls, Auburn was trailing by 11 points at halftime, but they managed to have a really strong second half. Then the next game, they beat up on Winthrop by 24 points. They put up 89 in that game, and then they looked pretty good against Texas Southern. I like the way Auburn's playing now. This is their first road game or neutral site game. They played their first 4 games at home this season, so that could be a little bit of a concern, but this is an experienced Auburn team. They're not really shooting the ball very well. I mean, they're 327th in three-point shooting and 267th in effective field goal percentage, yet they're still 25th in adjusted offensive efficiency because of their second chance opportunities. They're so strong on the offensive glass, and I worry about that with Bradley. Not really the tallest team, especially when you look at their starting lineup, and I do think Auburn's going to be able to get those second chance looks, and if the shots start to fall at a little bit of a better rate for Auburn, like we saw last year from this team, you got to watch out for the Tigers. They could be top 20 offense just like that. So I do think Auburn is the better team by far in this game, and I think this is a really bad matchup for Bradley. So give me Auburn here laying the points in this neutral site game. The final game we're going to talk about for Tuesday's card is between IPFW, Purdue Fort Wayne, and Eastern Michigan. 12:30 Eastern start time, so it's going to be the first game actually on the board out of these 5 games. And I wanted to go over an early game for Tuesday's card because the great thing about these non-conference tournaments and the first few weeks of non-conference college hoops is that we can get college basketball all day, every day. Some days we're getting it from 11 a.m. Eastern all the way to 11 p.m. Eastern at night. And for this Tuesday card, we actually have a game starting at 1 a.m. Eastern Standard, the UNLV game. So we got college hoops all day long, and I wanted to go over an afternoon game, early afternoon game. Hopefully we start the day with a win, but I like IPFW in this game laying the points. I do think Eastern Michigan could be one of the more overvalued teams right now in Division I college hoops because of their fast start against the number and because they brought in one of the more talented transfers in Imani Bates from Memphis. You know, he struggled a little bit with Memphis last year, but was one of the bigger prospect names in the recruiting class when he joined the Memphis Tigers, but he's just not enough. You know, Eastern Michigan as a team, not really the greatest roster. I mean, they're ranked 306th in KenPom right now. So, yes, Bates is a very talented player, probably an NBA talent. He's shooting the ball at 46% from 3, and he is a difference maker, but the rest of the team just not really helping him much, especially on the defensive end. 328th this team is in adjusted defensive efficiency. They can't defend the perimeter. They don't force very many turnovers. They take a lot of fouls, and IPFW is a very experienced team. We saw them cover the number against Northwestern in their most recent game, and we know Northwestern is off to a very good start to the season. They've already taken on 2 really tough games, Northwestern on the road and Michigan on the road at the beginning of the season. So they're battle-tested, they're experienced. I think they're the much more talented team, and they are the far superior defensive team, especially when it comes on the defensive glass, ranked 5th in the country in defensive rebounding. They don't take many fouls. I think this team is the much better side. So give me IPFW laying the points. And that's it. Those are the games we're going to talk about in college hoops for Tuesday's card. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe. And don't forget to put your college basketball plays in the comments section below. Again, if you're looking for my best bets, you can always find those at Pickdawgz Premium. As always, this is Ron Romanelli. Good luck.